Hey, thanks for checking out my channel. I'm John Stark from MacTheMovieGuy.com, and this is a review of Causeway. This is on Apple Plus right now, and it does have audio description. So that's part of Apple's commitment to put audio description on everything. So thank you, Apple. I'm a blind film critic, which is why I require audio description. So we'll talk a little bit about the audio description later on in the review. But first, let's get into what is Causeway. It's a film I don't think many people are going to watch, unless they're big Jennifer Lawrence fans. It's a Jennifer Lawrence film where she plays a injured veteran who is transported home for some R&R. She medically needs R&R. She has something happened to her. She does not have full use of her memory. She has to relearn how to do some things, and she just generally has to take some time to sort of process what had happened to her in this traumatic event and deal with her PTSD. And she does so in sort of a relative, like in her own time, like a very unique sort of way. The film does a really excellent job, by the way, of in the beginning when she doesn't really know what is going on, who everybody is. Her memory is spotty. It doesn't give her a name for quite a while. She's referred to as the woman. So you don't learn her name until 10 to 15 in. So it's not like it's a huge twist spoiler. It's not like she's not, like, she's not secretly playing some famous person, who goes on to do some great or terrible thing. It's just a name. But yeah, they stuck with that, and the audio description sticks with that, the woman. And she goes to like a rehab center, and she's there with this woman who really just sort of understands how to help get her rehab. And I'm using rehab in the truest form of rehabilitation, not in the way that we use it frequently for like going off to rehab for addiction problems. She actually needs to be rehabilitated because she has so many problems that she suffered from this event. And she has to talk to therapists, and she's on a dozen different medications. Finally, she gets sent home where she stays with her mom. And you can see that situation is not necessarily the situation that is the best, but mom is trying to be, really accepting of her being there. They just have kind of this awkward back and forth all the time that they speak. They're not necessarily a lovey-dovey family. This is not a family where they hug and she's not super excited to be home with her mom, and her mom doesn't seem super excited that she's home. But they are very abiliable towards each other. Where the film really takes off is when Jennifer Lawrence and her character, they are out trying to get a job, and their truck breaks down. So when she has to go to get it fixed, she meets Brian Tyree Henry's character that's owns a body shop that fixes cars, and they strike up a conversation. She remembers playing on a basketball team back in the day with his sister, so she kind of knows who he is, and they kind of just become friends. And that's sort of where the journey of the film takes, is these two people who are both, as you will learn, Brian Tyree Henry's character also has suffered a tragedy in his life, and they're both sort of exploring coming out of these tragedies. Even though they're very separate tragedies, they're both very much sort of linked in ways I don't necessarily want to spoil for you, because when Brian Tyree Henry's performance gets going, it gets really good, and part of that is his reveal of why he is where he is in life. This film only works because of the actors. The film itself is just kind of blah. It's a directorial debut from someone who has only done TV work. So this is a feature debut. I didn't expect a whole lot of this. It's kind of a flat movie the whole time. There isn't a whole lot of rise and fall. It just kind of happens. Slice of life is frequently used to describe a film like this, where you just, it's like you're dropping in on somebody's life. They don't make too much of a deal about her recovery process. This is not like Stronger with Jake Gyllenhaal, right? Where the film, it's all about his bouncing back from adversity. This is not that. This is just her trying to go about her normal life back at home, cleaning pools. First of all, we gotta do a better job of something with our veterans. Like, she's having a tough time just to live at home with her mom. She's at this rehab center, and she's like, I don't know if I have money to stay. You know, I mean, there's an undercurrent here of we're not doing enough to help those who fight for us. And now she's cleaning pools. So, cool. Thank you for your service. Which is kind of hilarious as the guy's hiring her for that job. You know, he's like, oh, you're a veteran. That's great. He's kind of perplexed as to why she would want to clean pools, but she's like, it's what I did before. So she just goes back to cleaning pools. All right. I guess we don't teach useful skills in the military that help her get the kind of job that she wants. I don't know. I don't know what the film, sometimes the film is trying to tell you something about treatment of veterans, but other times it's not trying to do it in a heavy-handed way. So I don't really understand the message there. You know, she's too broke to stay in rehab, which should be covered by Veterans Affairs because she's in rehab because of being blown up in Afghanistan or Iraq, one of the two. I forget which country it was. And that I would think that that's exactly the kind of thing we pay for. Like, sorry you got blown up. Let's make sure we get you back out there, you know? She's really eager to re-enlist, too. So this isn't even like a situation where it's like, she ain't coming back. I mean, the girl is talking constantly about wanting to go back. So it's very odd. It's a very odd film. But it's led by two terrific performances, Jennifer Lawrence and Brian Tyree Henry. The rest of the cast really doesn't matter. They're fine. Most of them have very limited roles. They just function sort of as pieces. The mom just kind of does a mom thing. Doctors just kind of do doctor things. Nobody really lets a character out for too long. But Brian Tyree Henry actually kind of steals this a little bit from Jennifer Lawrence. Her character is kind of very unattached to the emotional scope of everything around her. But when Brian Tyree's character kind of gets going, he taps into something that he hasn't necessarily fully dealt with himself, in an effort to explain to her why he is where he is. It really just lets out sort of this really raw performance from an actor that has done some really great work before. If this film gets any Oscar nomination, it'll be for Brian and not for Jennifer. We've seen far too many performances from Jennifer Lawrence, honestly, that are better than this. This performance is not dynamic. It doesn't let her go anywhere. It doesn't really let her do much. She vomits a lot, I guess. I mean, that's the most rangy thing that she does in this film. It's a very flat performance. It's a very flat film. It's not that I didn't like the film, because this film does have performances in it that I like, but I wanted more from the film. the audio description is fine, but also I wanted more from the audio description. It doesn't necessarily do a lot with its surroundings, with describing where people are, what the scenery or the set look like, or how people are dressed. Every once in a while, it brings something up. It'll say, when she's going to do her pool cleaning, it'll mention that she's in her uniform, right? So it does mention stuff. I'm not going to say it never mentions clothes, but it just kind of acts like everybody is a person just kind of walking through life. It takes it in the most simplistic form possible, and this film is already kind of flat as it is. So by taking flat narration along with it, this film got sort of no boost anywhere from anything. It just kind of stayed there. Luckily, the runtime on this isn't terrible. It's a little over an hour and a half. I think it was about like an hour and 40 something. But if it was any longer than that, you would really start to feel it, because it just doesn't go anywhere as a film. It does kind of hit you at the end, but it hits you in a way where you're like, what? At the end of the film, I was like, all right, okay, this is where we're ending, I guess. I mean, sure. I mean, you did telegraph that this could be a possibility, but not necessarily the ending I expected, or necessarily I felt was earned. It's a very, very perplexing movie. So I'm going to give Causeway a C+. I don't want to reject the performances here. I really would like people to see Jennifer Lawrence and Brian Tyree Henry's performances, but you're gonna not. I don't think you're gonna love the film. So sorry. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed my review, and you will consider subscribing, because I'm trying to get to 100 by the end of the year, and I'm within striking distance easily. So I just want to become a triple-digit YouTuber. That's all I want. All I want for Christmas is a triple-digit YouTuber. So if you could subscribe, that'd be great. I also have a website, macthemovieguy.com, which you can go to whenever you want. You can also go to the audio description project. That's adp.acb.org. It'll let you know what has audio description and where you can watch it. And you can go to theadna.org, and you can look up your favorite TV shows, movies, and see who narrates them. It is user uploaded, so may or may not be there, but we're trying to get as much stuff on there as possible. So you can also submit stuff if you know the answers to questions. Like if you know who describes your favorite TV show, feel free to submit the information. That's it. So I have to review something else now for you guys, but I will see you on the other side.